All right, welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. My name is David Shins. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a coach.
My name is Donni Wiggins. I am also an entrepreneur and a coach.
You're now in a relationship influencer.
I am not a relationship influencer.
I don't know who my man is, but you cooked him yesterday.
Did I cook him?
Well, the day so I don't know where you're watching this, but Donnie was on Tonight's Conversation, and I almost got to pull up the video. So my man was talking about a top tier man?
A top tier man. So basically what he was actually talking about was the fact that modern day women don't qualify for top tier men. Modern day women are only useful to be slept with, and you take whatever you can get.
Where is he going with that point? Like modern day women are only to be slept with?
That's his mindset. That's what he believes. That's what he thinks.
Okay, let's start to identify modern day woman. What is that?
So he never really defined what a modern day woman was, but what the inferences that he was making are the women of today who aren't allowing the women of today, right? And I think that he's talking about women who may be successful, women who, he also mentioned single mothers. He mentioned single mothers, women who...
single mothers are modern day women?
Let's just play his clip.
Hold on, are single mothers modern day women?
Are single mothers modern day women?
And I don't want to put words in my man's mouth, so I want to understand. Okay, well,
let's just play his clip. Play his first though, the one on his page.
Can you play it?
Yeah, I'll play it. Let's see. Shout out to Cooley. We're gonna play your clip because he went and made his own clip after he didn't like the results of the clip. Okay, let's see. This is the clip, you guys.
Girls that are modern don't qualify for the top tier men usually. I disagree. I disagree. No, they qualify for recreational use only. They'll smash those single moms. They'll smash those chicks to the club and stuff, but they don't wife them up. You got no ring, you got no true commitment because you don't qualify, man. These niggas lie to you. Like I said, if you want to get rich, you lie to people that want to be lied to. If you want to make a living, you tell the truth to people that want to be told the truth to.
Oh no, we can't play this because we got audio in it.
You tell the truth to people that want to be lied to. I don't care about...
Dang.
So you heard the gist of what he was saying.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Right, I think that's cool.
Yes.
So basically he was saying modern day women are, just smashable. He threw single women in there, or single moms in there too. And he's like, nobody's going to wife a modern day woman. I don't think there's music on the other clip where I responded to him. There's not. Okay. So here's the clip that has gone viral on the internet so many times, and we're going to play it really quickly.
Don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
Do you believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4". Only about 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year, and I'm black at that if you add that on. So just if we're speaking about those figures, the things that women are attracted to, no, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll let you do the math. Okay, before we go, what's your math?
The conversation and the words that are coming out of the mouth of someone like you, I would never consider top tier. A top tier man is also a man that is extremely desirable by way of his character. A top tier man is a man who displays a certain level of intellect that allows him to consider other people. A top tier man, they lead with love, not with dictatorship, right? They don't want to control their woman. They want to gently lead their woman. A top tier man creates space for a woman to feel good about herself. A top tier man supports the dreams and the ideas of a woman. A top tier man prioritizes a woman. A top tier man is in leadership and working as hard as he is to give the woman the life of her dream.
And with all that stuff that you just said, that was just womanese talk.
Womanese is also 6'4", black, attractive. I don't know too many women in my circle who desire a 6'4" man still wearing braids.
It was the end, though. Like
I didn't mean to say
that
part.
You went a little far with the
okay,
top tier man can't wear braids. The ones you can't. You went a little far.
Okay, so also far is this was so what you guys should know is there were maybe 18 influencers, podcasters, or whatever that Ace Metaphor from the creator and founder of Tonight's Conversation, flew out to Dayton for 3 days of shooting podcasts, and there were 48 podcast episodes shot total, right? And this was not the first episode. Yeah. So he and I kind of had this banter going back and forth, but he said a lot of things that to me were just bizarre. For example, he said the only thing, there was a gentleman who said, well, I kind of admire the fact that from my wife, I can learn things from her. I admire that my wife knows some things and she can bring that to the table and I can learn. And he said, you can learn from her. The only thing that I can learn from a woman is a recipe.
Is that what he said?
He said that.
No, in context. No way he said that's.
You'll see when that clip comes out or when that episode comes out, he said the only thing that he can learn from a woman is a recipe. He also said, so someone asked him like, well, in the dynamic of your relationship, basically, if you guys don't know what you want to eat, if you and your girlfriend don't know what you want to eat, who makes that decision? And he's like, I don't ask her what she wants to eat. This was his tone.
Nah, he didn't. I can't even imagine.
But he's one of those red pill guys. And if you watch his page, he speaks about women directly to women in a way that they don't really even have time to articulate themselves. He talks real fast and he sounds very intelligent. He uses 4 and 5 syllable words, and he's always throwing these quotes and statistics out, right? Like 8% of the population are 6'4", of the male population are 6'4", and that's absolutely not true. Things like he said, making over $100,000 puts him in the top 1%. That's also not true. But because if you're not a person, man or woman, who can keep up and kind of see through that fluff, you'll kind of go with this. So anyway, this clip dropped last night on the internet, and there's over 1 million views at this point. And David is joking me saying that I am a relationship influencer. But did you know that when I started on social media, I started in the relationship space?
I didn't know that.
I used to host these events called Single in the City. And I would just get a bunch of single people in the room and allow them to network, mix, and mingle. And many of my conversations and posts on Facebook at that time was like taking people through like dating experiences that I had. And then people started DMing me dating experiences that they had because they wanted me to share it on my page. And that's where I started.
Yeah, but I do want to get a definition of modern day women, because I still can't imagine someone like thinking of a woman like, especially if you have a girl, thinking of a woman in that way. So I want to like understand the context.
Not only does he have a girl, the woman that he's talking about, unmarried, baby mama, is his relationship. He has a 12-year-old daughter, and he's with the mother that he has not yet married.
Oh, the person he has a 12-year-old daughter with the woman, but he hasn't married her. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's his whole premise. Like, you're single and you got a kid. No man, no top tier man is gonna marry you.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
He went in, but generally, I hope that what he's doing, like I hope that he saw like what Kevin Samuels was doing and some of the other guys that take these red pill approaches. And I hope that for him, it's really just like, oh, I can make money.
Entertainment. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shouts out to you. You're an entrepreneur. I love it. I looked up what a modern day woman is, because I really never even heard of that before, or what is considered a modern day woman. And it says a modern day woman is 1, self-sufficient, 2, educated and knowledgeable, empowered in choice, meaning a modern woman embraces her right to make choices for herself. Number 4, health and wellness focused. 5, equality oriented. She advocates for gender equality. 6, digitally savvy, engaging in technology, understanding social media, stuff like that. Socially conscious, open to personal growth, and balanced yet ambitious. Is that a modern day woman? That sound like a modern day woman to you?
Some of those things, yeah, definitely sound like modern. I mean,
so I'm just going off ChatGPT, but to say a modern day woman, and this isn't about relationship, but it was interesting. But to say that a modern day woman won't get married, that's crazy. I met my wife or she won't marry a top tier man.
A top tier man.
I think I am a top tier man.
You're a top tier man.
No, again, I'm not like bragging or nothing, but I got my financial situation together. My credit score is good. I handle my responsibilities. No one can say that I flirted with them or sent them a text, or anybody can ever say that I cheated on them or even made it seem like I wanted to get up with nobody. Nothing. If I have a meeting with a woman in my office, the door is open, and I don't even invite people to do meetings unless like my assistant Kay is here or something like that. There's nothing. When I met my wife, one, she has a daughter, and I don't think she'll mind me sharing, but she had bad credit. I helped her fix her credit and all that kind of stuff. She wasn't really all that good at cooking. Now she's amazing. She's grown. I've grown. And I feel like I'm a top tier. And I met her on Tinder and married her 6 months later. So shouts out to y'all modern day women that like just get it done. You can find you a top tier man, because I think I'm top tier.
Yeah. And I don't even believe that.
I'm not 6'4". I'm 6'2 3/4. So maybe that disqualifies me as the top tier, but.
Yeah, I don't even know if women who are really put together believe that they can't get a top tier man. Like, I don't even think that's something that
some women believe that.
Well, and so there's a difference. Women who have themselves together, and that also includes like confidence and understanding your worth, right?
For sure.
People who don't have confidence and don't understand their worth, they're going to believe all kinds of things about them. And we have to isolate them into a group because there are some additional steps that need to be taken. But if you are a woman and you're confident, and the thing is, nobody knows your experiences, right? People like to he posted a clip on his page, and it's just really going to depend on your audience. If I post this clip on my page, my audience is going to probably be in support of what I said. Yeah. He posted on his page, his audience is going to be in support of what he says, because that's the whole point of building community, to put like-minded people around you, right? And so, when people come and be like, oh, she's, at home, she's a single mom and she's done this, that, and the other. Well, when you say that, don't forget to include like rich. Don't forget to include like purchased plenty of properties for several people. Don't forget to include the fact that I choose the lifestyle that I have right now, and I am an advocate of relationships. It's not by like y'all speak to modern women like we just sitting around here worthless and not doing anything, right? And I think a lot of times people who speak like that are so intimidated by women who bring something to the table, because a man who says he's top tier, like he did because he's 6'4", black, and makes over $100,000, you're placing all your value in your aesthetic and what you bring to the table financially. And now when you meet a woman like me, who isn't necessarily, if you look at my track record, you don't see many 6'4" guys, right? And you know that I bring something financially to the table. So for you, or for a person who thinks like that, now you got to bring something else to the table. Now we got to dig into your character. Now we got to dig into your morals. Now we have to dig into your ethics. And that's the mirror that's being placed in front of you that makes all these men, because most men won't fit into that category of the top 1%. That's just the truth. Most people won't. And when you are now in front of a woman who has figured out how to do that, you got to step your stuff up in a different way. And 6'4" with long hair and being black and making $100,000 is just not the metric that woman is measuring by.
Yeah, I don't think any of that stuff makes you top tier. Like, I don't know what your height has to do with it. I guess some women like tall or whatever, but that doesn't make you top tier. But I guess I understand what he's saying, because he's in that space of the relationships, which the general relationship of this is what a man should do, this is what a woman should do, or this is how things should go, is I don't like that really, because every situation is different. Like, every relationship is different. You might think that a woman that's providing for a man is a toxic situation or whatever, or that's not a man. But there are plenty of women who provide. They bring the bread home. The man is a stay-at-home husband. He's an amazing father, teaching the kids all kind of stuff. And when they come home, they are happy. And there are people that wish. I'm talking about these relationship experts. And not talking about, I don't even know the brother, so I'm not coming at him. I don't want him to think that I'm coming at him because he's not here to defend himself. But the relationship guru space, many of them wish they could come home to a happy home, a beautiful wife with kids and like harmony, which doesn't exist all the time, but there are, that's why I don't really get into like the single relationship guru people, because you just don't understand. And I know you would rather, most of them would rather have some sort of relationship that has their issues than to be coming home single and chasing all these different women and all that kind of stuff. So, but for entertainment purposes, I get it.
And that's really what it is. A lot of this is for entertainment purposes, because people say these things on a microphone and then they're going home and they're living the exact life that they're painting out to be undesirable to the masses, right? Just like in this particular situation. And I will say this, and I say this all the time, like at some point we just really have to grow up and stop making successful women synonymous with unagreeable women, people who can't agree, people who can't submit. They're not synonymous. There are so many successful women. I know, like my girls are super successful, way more successful than me. And the way they are with their men, it's like putty in their hands. They just, they are the piece. And these men say these things, and it's a beautiful thing to see. So I think that we all have to, man and women alike, we just have to do the work on ourselves to attract and appeal to the audience that we want to appeal to. Like in that conversation, I was brought there to have that conversation, right? That wouldn't have been a conversation that I necessarily chose, because I don't really care about people like that who think that way. You're not my target audience.
100%. Yeah, listen, I'm going to be 100 with you, and y'all could call me what you want, but I want my wife to build like this kids YouTube joint and be like a sensation. I want her to make way more money than me so I can stay at home with the kids. Real bad. Y'all laughing. I am 100% serious. If my wife started to make way more money than me, I'm not coming to the studio every day. I'm at the crib with my kids, and I'll take up like some little baking classes. I'll be at the crib like, baby, I made cupcakes today. You ain't gonna believe these little sprinkles on top. These are custom sprinkles, boo. I made that, and I'll be so happy. What? Man, y'all get out of here without it. Listen, I want my wife to grow. Go on and get this money so I'm
absolutely. And I say the same thing all the time. I cannot wait to be married. I would give all of this up. Like,
give me the little smock and
out of here. You hear me?
Smock at the crib. I'm gonna have one baby in this arm, baking the cake in this arm. It's going
whipping
down.
The cake up.
You know what I mean? All right, can we talk about entrepreneurship now?
Yeah, we can talk. Well, first of all, today we are talking about maybe 10 reasons why you should never make $1 million, and I feel like this is a perfect segue.
Yeah. Oh, this is a perfect segue.
You should never. Let me just be clear. I'm gonna tell y'all, especially for my ladies, and maybe this can relate to men and women.
Oh, this is good.
We're about to give y'all reasons that you should never make $1 million, right? And I'm going to start with number one. Ladies, you should never make $1 million because men start looking at you like your dollar amount, and they don't take you for who you are at your core, right? Once you become a woman who has now earned 7 figures, you now become big money. You now become, you got it. You now become, oh, look around and look at how you're taking care of yourself. You are now put in a box of women who don't need men for anything. They will misunderstand you. And men, once you make 7 figures, you are placed in a box full of expectations. Ooh. Everybody expects you to show up. Everybody expects you to take the tab. Everybody expects you to pay this bill and loan this dollar amount and not need your money back. Listen, if you are single especially, and you want to have a dating life, listen to me and don't make $1 million.
Don't make that $1 million.
Don't make $1 million.
Expectations are so real, especially women. Listen to me. You don't want to be too successful. It's going to be hard to find that man. Oh my gosh. Unrealistic expectations. And so as you like make the money, like still going on this unrealistic expectations. When you make $1 million, people think that you have $1 million.
They think you have $1 million.
Okay, so if we do a screenshot of a Shopify page and you celebrate the fact that you made $1 million, your friends and family think that $1 million is somewhere in the bank sitting there waiting for you to distribute it to them. And you don't have the $1 million, or they expect that you could just go vacation and kick it and buy whatever you want to buy. And when you decide to not loan them that $2,000 that they're looking for, they look at you funny because in their mind, you have a mound of money that you swim in every morning, like Scrooge. It's unrealistic expectations.
But also the other side of that is when you make $1 million, people automatically think that you don't need anything anymore.
Oh my God.
You don't need anything anymore. When it comes to the dating experience, men think, oh, she's good. I don't need to do anything for her because she's good. The same thing happens with women to men. Like, oh, he doesn't need anything. These nice things, like now suddenly the small things don't matter anymore because he's got $1 million or he's made $1 million. I don't need it. But then just even family and friends, they forget that you still are human. And like you said, just because you've made 7 figures doesn't mean that you have retained 7 figures. I need some help too. I need support too. I need you guys to consider my budget and you know what I may or may not have as well. They think that's a heavy one. They just really don't expect you to need anything. And if you express a need, you're almost scared. You're almost trapped in this closet of not being able to express a need, because then they start dragging you through the mud. The same people who have never made $1 million, now when you express a need, it's like the money must have dried up. Must be looking funny. Y'all heard he was over here asking for certain things. The expectations are ridiculous. They expect you to wear certain clothes. They expect you to drive certain cars. They expect you to live in a certain type of home. They expect you to only shop with certain labels. They expect. You should probably not make $1 million.
Yeah, don't make $1 million for that reason. There's a lot of things you can do with $500. I mean, you can have a night out with your significant other. You could buy some really expensive shoes. Well, really nice shoes are about double $500. You could buy a course where you can learn something for $500. But I have something better for you to do with the $500. I want to meet with you every single morning for the rest of your life. Well, maybe not the rest of your life, but every morning, Monday through Friday, for the rest of the year. I have information and game that have allowed me to build a successful business, a successful community, and a successful life all the way around. But I want to share that with you. But the only way we can accomplish this is not me selling you a course, not me giving you a one-on-one consultation, because even with that, you'll get the information, but you'll need more. I want to meet with you every single morning. Now, would I meet with someone every morning for $500 for a year? And the answer is yes. Actually, we've been doing this thing since 2017. We have what's called the morning meetup. Every single month, we have a theme, whether it's social media, whether it's motivation, whether it's strategy, whatever it is, we have a theme for the month. And every morning in that month, we have a conversation around that topic. And I am giving a wealth of knowledge, not only myself, but a lot of friends, a lot of people that you see on this podcast. They join every single week. So you need a community of people that you can grow with, and you need a coach. I'm your coach. The Morning Meetup is your community. Go to themorningmeetup.com. It's $499, and I will meet you every single morning for an entire year. Give it a shot. Number 2, the second reason you probably shouldn't make $1 million, if you were thinking about it, just like reconsider it. More money, more problems. When they came up with that song, I didn't understand it. It made absolutely no sense. Even the verses were just dope verses. It still didn't make it seem like I'm going to have more problems. But when you make more money, you have more problems. For instance, taxes. Okay? When you make money, you have a responsibility. Y'all think when you make money, it's just like you make $1 million, it's like, oh gosh, life has changed. No, it costs you $500,000 to make that $1 million, but you still got to pay on the money that you actually made, because the president want their money. Okay, Joe Biden wants his bread right now, immediately. Whoever's going to be the next president, they want their tax. Not only does the country, the government want your taxes, the state also says, "Oh, you live here? I need that. Run me that bread." So by the time you're done living a millionaire lifestyle, minus expenses, minus taxes, minus what it takes to live, you don't have anything. And then most people spend all the money and then don't have enough to pay the taxes at the end. Mm-hmm. And every single year, listen, ask me how I know. Ask me, go on, just ask me how I know.
How do you know,
Dave? Oh my gosh, I have to pay the tax and I'll be behind.
Yeah.
I'm
behind is an understatement.
That first, man, listen, oh my gosh. So we went from making a few $100,000 with not much profit. It went from that to like 4 million in a year. And I didn't understand. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand that I can't just spend the money.
Mm-hmm. You mean you can't have the standing appointments at the Louis Vuitton and the Fendi's?
I did not know that.
Because you had a few standing appointments.
I didn't. Everywhere me and Donni went at that time, and we're just going to keep it all the way 100
All
here, okay?
the way 100.
I mean, we're technically still new money. Now, the good news is we've been making money for a long time. We've been entrepreneurs for a long time, right? We've been full-time entrepreneurs for a very, very long time. So we understand entrepreneurship, but once it hockey sticks and goes up, it's like, oh, well, I got extra. Back then, 2016, like back then, I still wasn't paying taxes, but it wasn't that much. And then you get interest and you get penalties and you got to pay and it starts to compound. But I didn't understand that there should be some money put aside every single month to cover the taxes because I just see the money coming in. And then I didn't realize that I probably shouldn't wait until December 12th to try to figure out how I can mitigate my tax responsibility. I didn't understand. Mm-hmm. So as you make more, listen, don't pay your taxes. They will take you to jail. You understand? Don't pay your taxes. They will take you to jail. You'll go to jail for that. But you don't have that issue when you have a job and you're making $30,000, $40,000 because they don't trust you anyway. So they take the money out of your check and pay your taxes for you because we don't trust you. But go ahead and make $1 million as an entrepreneur. They say, oh, well, that person can handle it, but you can't. More money, more problems, Donni.
Yeah, for sure. A third reason why you shouldn't make $1 million is you really lose your grip on work-life balance. Mm-hmm. You lose your grip on your work-life balance because in order to become the type of person that you need to be, now, granted, there are some people who really just stumbled upon $1 million, right? They had some extreme high-level skill set and they just figured it out, or they hit a wave and they made $1 million. But for most people who, like us, have to work for it, for most people like us who have to strategize for it, plan for it, prepare for it, put systems in place for it, maybe even hire for it, you will realize soon enough that you'll have to make sacrifices in your time. Mm-hmm. You'll have to make sacrifices in your relationship. In your relationship right now, y'all might hang out 3, 4, 5 days a week. When you are now a person, a business owner who is at that 7-figure mark, you'll probably start to notice that now that 3, 4, 5 hanging out every single day or every single week goes to 1 day a week. So now you're in a relationship and it's like date nights are date night, right? You have to sacrifice what you do with your money because you've got this money coming in. There's no balance there because it's like I'm making a whole lot of money, but I have a whole lot of overhead, a whole lot of expenses. So I'm not even really getting to enjoy the money that I'm making. Not if you are responsible with your 7 figures. The work-life balance is insane. And then when you get to the point where you make 7 figures, more money, more problems, you make 7 figures, you usually acquire more responsibility, right? So now you'll realize very quickly that based on making that 7 figures, paying out all of your expenses, your personal expenses, your business expenses, and then taxes on top of that, a lot of people put them in a situation where now, just to continue to survive, I got to go and make $1 million again or more than $1 million next time, just to make up for the mistakes that I didn't know that I was going to make when I made the very first 7 figures. So you really lose this work-life balance because now your time is really spent. Your time is really spent on how do I scale this to 1.5 and 2 million and 3 million and 4 million. And you become, you start to become accused of being a workaholic. You start to become accused of not being available for your relationship, not being available for your family and your friends, when really you're just struggling to balance all of the responsibility that comes with making your first $1 million.
100%. Next point, I think 4, why you shouldn't make $1 million. There's a myth called enough, where when you don't make a bunch of money, you think $1 million will be enough. $1 million a year is enough for you to live and enough for you to be happy. But even if all your taxes are paid and you're a very profitable company, money will not fulfill you. Not everybody. Now, some people it might fulfill you. I don't know. But I'm warning you that if your expectation is that when you make $1 million, all your problems are solved, all your anxiety is released, your dating life becomes better. Men think, I was just having a conversation with my friend, and he said, man, I'm just in a space, I'm trying to get myself financially stable so I can really go out there and date. You think that that's going to make your dating life better when you get more money. It's not. Money is not fulfilling. It will buy some temporary happiness, and it's much better. It's much better cry. I think the phrase was, would you rather cry in a Honda or a Rolls Royce? I'd rather be emotionally unstable in a Rolls Royce
For sure.
than I would be in a Toyota Corolla.
The seats recline. It just makes sense.
Oh, they decline. You can cry a little.
You just cry comfortably.
You can cry comfortably. But that does not solve your problems. In fact, emotionally, I think people who are ambitious and have a goal that they haven't yet reached are in a better position than the people who reach their goal, because 9 times out of 9, when you reach that goal, it never ever feels like you thought it was going to feel, because you get all the other anxieties and all the pressures that we talked about earlier that come along with all this money that you're making. I'm saying you need to reconsider making $1 million, or I want you to really, really process the things that we're saying right now, because there are a lot of you all that are going to get there. But I want you to keep it in mind so that you're not blindsided. Okay? The enough myth. When you make $1 million, you will quickly realize that $1 million isn't enough, and you're going to say, oh, now $5 million. $5 million? That will be enough. And you will soon realize when you get to $5 million, oh, I got to get at least 10. And you realize that your lifestyle keeps growing and you still need more and more and more and more and more and more. I have settled, and this is why I believe I'm a top tier man and I'm blessed beyond belief, is that I've already settled in with God and decided that, God, if you don't do anything else for me, and if you don't give me another dime and you decide to Job me and take all the stuff away, I will still be grateful, because you've given me a strong 39 years. Look, you've given me some good times. You've given me some stories. I got some cool stories about when it was all lit. And if I ever fall off, I am still extremely grateful for all the experiences and all the people I met along the way and all the things that I've had. I have settled in that. So I'm saying that to say, I need you to get to a point where you are grateful for what you have right now. So once you get more, it's just more blessing. It's more blessing. It's cool. I'm grateful at level 1. I'm grateful at level 10. I'm grateful at level 100. If I get back down to level 1, I'm going to lock into this gratefulness, and I still get to gather all these experiences. So that goalpost continues to move.
Mm-hmm. Reason number 5. This is a really big one. money can't buy happiness. Don't make $1 million if you are looking for it to make you happy. Mm-hmm. A lot of people stay up at night in bed, can't get to sleep because so many things are weighing heavily on you, and you believe that money is the solution to all of your dissatisfaction, all of your depression. You believe that somehow miraculously having 7 figures in your bank account or making 7 figures will make you happy. And if we're being completely transparent, Dave, you may remember the first 2 years were great, but then that third year going into this, I started to struggle with feeling fulfilled. Mm-hmm. We're going after money. We're setting these high level goals. And it's like everything was moving the goalpost. It's like, okay, I did it. Let me move to the next step. Okay, I did it. Let me go for more. Okay, I did it. Let me put out this offer so I can get higher ticket paying clients. And let me just, it became like, how much can you command? How much money can you command? And then what I realized was that I ended up building a business model that I did not necessarily love. I no longer felt fulfilled. I'm going after these super high ticket clients that have high level needs that I don't really want to solve. I don't want to spend the time to solve these particular problems. I built my brand off of the backs of beginners and intermediate level entrepreneurs, but I completely isolated them for about 9 months because I'm so focused on these high ticket offers, high ticket. I'm making the money, but I'm losing the purpose behind why I do what I do. And even though I still work with entrepreneurs who are in the scale phase of their business, I still have high level clients. I didn't find fulfillment again until I came back and said, you know what? Let's bring my community back. Let's open up these doors where I can still serve the people who made this possible for me to make 7 figures in the first place, right? You think that having this money and being able to buy this home is going to wash out the depression of the 4 walls that you were living in before. It's not. It just doesn't. Like, it's temporary satisfaction. You're grateful for it, but there's this temporary satisfaction because money doesn't fix the core of you.
That's good. That's good.
Money doesn't fix the core of you. It literally just gives you access to financially be able to do more of the things that you were doing, more bad habits, more bad spending, more. And you will find yourself feeling alone, unhappy, and unfulfilled until you get back on track and say, it's not the $1 million necessarily that I'm going for. I want $1 million attached to purpose. I want $1 million attached to meaning. If you are looking for happiness and you believe that $1 million is going to bring it, don't do it.
Hey, y'all, I just want to know, we're at like 5 reasons to not make $1 million. Just throw it in the chat or the comment section. You still want to make $1 million? Just throw it in the chat. I just got to make sure that y'all with us. Do you still want to go after it? The goal here, if we can talk you out of becoming a millionaire, if we can talk you out of this in 45 minutes or an hour on this podcast episode, you're going to quit anyway. So we're just saving you a lot of time. But if you can handle all that stuff, say I can handle it in the comment section. Say I can handle it. Just say I can handle it. Okay, bro. This is no laughing matter. This isn't even like a joke. With this stuff comes responsibility. Listen, number six, the reason you shouldn't make $1 million because it's going to require you to grow uncomfortably. It's going to require uncomfortable growth. I don't know if y'all want to go through that. It's grueling. I'm talking about, I think this process is just as grueling as losing 30 pounds or losing 100 pounds. This is tough. There's 3 areas you have to grow in. 1, financially, because let me tell you how difficult it is to balance all of this money coming in. It's harder to see the holes in the boat. If you have like a tiny little boat and a hole comes up, you're like, whoa, there's a hole. I gotta stop this hole. But if you are on a big yacht or like a 3-decker yacht and there's a small hole in the boat, when do you find out about it? Mm-hmm. Like, you're upstairs partying, you on the deck, you got the drone out and you all drinking and hanging out and you don't see this little hole. And you don't see this other little hole. You don't see this other little hole. You don't see all these little holes. And then one day you realize half the boat is full of water and now we're in danger. if you keep your little job making 50,000, 60,000, 100,000, you can see the holes, you can fix them, and you know that you know where the issues are. It's so hard to see it when more money's coming in. Got all this money coming in, and you don't know where it's all going. So that's why the more money you make, the more you got to check your accounts. The more you need certain apps that are going to help you find these holes in your boat. Otherwise, you'll be drowning and not realize it. A big company, what's a big company that's going out of business? What, Red Lobster, or what is another company? Best Buy or Macy's or whatever. These companies going out of business. They're so big. How do you know that Joe is stealing? And Joe multiplies by 1,000 stores. But you can't see it because it's so big. If it's just us and we got a bunch of products, once somebody stole this honey bun in my little grocery store, it's like, hold on. We had 20 honey buns. We got 18, but we only sold one. So
who got the honey bun?
Who took the honey bun?
Everybody open their bags right now.
Yep, can't nobody leave. Let me check them purses. Yep. Somebody done stole that honey bun. But it's easier to find. Financial literacy, you're going to have to grow in that space. Another area is, how can I say this, Don? I want your help with that. With financial success comes power. And I'm telling you that power is a trick of the enemy. Diddy or Trey Songz or all these people who have power and they feel like they're untouchable and they feel like they can do whatever they want to do. Because I'm powerful. I'm all powerful. I can do whatever I want to do. And eventually, you wind up getting jammed up. But you didn't think it was coming because, like, once you don't have nothing, you don't have no power, you don't think of doing, like, heinous, illegal stuff. But the more powerful you get, the more untouchable you feel. Yep. And it causes you to go crazy. I want you to touch on that one real quick, Donni.
I think that's a number 7 all in itself.
Come on.
Like, the more money, more power. You start to feel a particular way. You can walk into certain rooms and you can make certain requests that people who have not yet got to that level can make. And you feel this, it gives you the illusion. It gives you the illusion that you've acquired this level of power and acquired this level of greatness that you really hadn't earned, right? A dollar amount doesn't constitute the level of power that you have. And that's probably a lot of what's wrong with the world right now. People treat people who are financially secure or financially abundant like they are powerful.
Yeah.
And we have to really get clear on what it means to be powerful. Dirk. I believe that's number 7 in itself.
For sure. Dirk, you can't do what
you can't do what you want. You feel untouchable. Get out of these streets, people.
Oh my God.
Get out of the street. Like, you can't just keep doing the same things and saying, oh, I'm so powerful, I can get away with this stuff without consequences.
Yeah, I don't know I think somebody might have said it and my team just randomly threw me lotion. I guess I was doing bad out here. But
40 minutes into the episode is wild.
Crazy. But I'm here to tell you, you don't want to become a millionaire because you have to become a different person. You can't do what you used to do. You can't hang around with the people that you used to hang around with. Bro, why? You made $100 million off of record sales alone and you want to get somebody unalived? What are we talking about right now?
$3,000?
But here's the thing. I think it's almost like, okay, I don't care that much because I'm living a good life. However, that environment that I'm in says, if someone does this, then I have to do that. That's what happened when I was growing up as a kid. That's what I learned. And my friend says, if they do this, then you got to do that. This is a jail mentality. If they do that, I got to do this because other people are going to say something about me. And if you want to become successful and bring all your friends with you, that environment goes with you too. And you start to feel like, if I don't do that, then my core group is going to think this. I'm telling you, it may be a bad idea for you to make $1 million.
It may be a bad idea for you to make $1 million. I want to pause real quick, and we're going to pick up with number 8. But I want you to look at that comment right there.
Which one?
From Veronica Keneal. Great show, Donni. Your skin is flawless. Okay. Let me tell
What's
you
crazy
why.
is there's not even a comment that says that. That's crazy.
Scroll down. You see, it's at the top. It's at the top on my live. On the Instagram live.
This is what we're stopping for?
This is what we're stopping for because I gotta tell you right there. You see it right there,
Great show,
Veronica.
Donnie. She don't even know you because you spelled your name wrong.
Okay, listen, you guys. So I come into the studio this morning, and maybe people stop caring about your feelings when you make $1 million. Number 8. People stop caring about your feelings. We kind of covered that one. So this isn't a real number 8, but this is a bonus. My friends stopped caring about my feelings, right?
I love that.
So I remember years ago, I started struggling with hormonal acne around 35 to 37 years old. And it was so bad, like just these big cystic pimples just starting to form all along the bottom half of my face. I used to come into the studio pre-7 figures and David would be like, I didn't even notice it. It doesn't look that bad. You look fine. No, really, you look fine. Right? Like trying to support me through it because he knew that this was like a painful experience. I was struggling to look in the mirror and just all kinds of stuff. Right? So many of you guys know that I was on a 7-month journey with Accutane and chemical pills with my esthetician, Terrell Spa. Shout out to her in Buckhead, Atlanta. And I'm off of Accutane, right? We're 7 months later. And so I came into the studio today and I don't have on any makeup. And so I sit down before we start taping and I'm like, look at me, Dave. I don't have on any makeup. Like, look at me. And he was like, you know, when you said that you were tired earlier, I was sitting here looking at you thinking, man, you look really tired. Mangy, in fact. Mangy. In fact, like mangy is what you say to a dog who's like just completely disheveled, looking ridiculous. And I just sincerely believe now that he feels like, oh, if she's so sad, cry her a river in her whatever over a steak dinner. You just really stopped caring about my feelings, friend. And
I did indeed say that.
He said I look mangy.
No. So
he said I look mangy.
I don't even know if I can defend it, but I'm gonna try. So she was like, "Yo, I look really, really tired." And
I didn't say that.
Yes,
I said no. I didn't say I look tired. I came in the studio.
No, you didn't say you look.
He said, "How do you feel?" And I said, "You know what? I'm pretty
really
tired today."
He said, "I'm really tired." So in my head, because she came in with like the sweatsuit and her hair, maybe it's this side, it was like frazzled a little bit.
Look at this side.
It's a little frazzled.
It's not in the back of my hoodie.
Yeah, it's not as lit as it normally is. So I'm like, wow, you do look tired. However, me being a good friend, I didn't say nothing. I'm like, oh, word, okay, well, we'll just get started and I'll let you, you go. But then she said, look at my skin. I think we was talking about something important to me. And she cuts it and says, look at my skin. Look how flawless it looks.
I didn't say that. I didn't say flawless. I said, look at my skin. Did you even notice that I'm not wearing any makeup today? And he was like, if I'm being honest, as you were saying that you were tired, I was thinking, wow, you look tired. Mangy, in fact. And then Ahmed over here, who's in the studio, goes, yeah, really matted and mangled. That's, if I had to describe it, it's really mad. And I just feel like if I wasn't making 7 figures, you guys would have more tenderness with my feelings. You know what I mean? You know how hard I have worked for this skin? And there's nothing matted or mangled about me. Like, they are really callous individuals.
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, let me put it all together. How it was going on in my head. I'm like, because I knew something was different. But I was like, you look real relaxed. But no, man said you look natural. You look natural. So
no,
yes, you do.
So
look
he's
natural.
trying to make it better. I said, I look exhausted. He's like, and then Ahmed said, I guess natural. Let's just call it natural. But it wasn't like, oh, wow, you look naturally beautiful. It was like, I called you matted and mangled. Those aren't the right adjectives. Let's go with natural.
I went a little far with the mangy thing. Okay.
And
I will publicly apologize, even though I didn't publicly roast you, but I will publicly apologize for the way you look. But
the way I look is insane.
But your skin does look beautiful. And if it did look bad, I wouldn't have said anything about it. Because after someone loses 150 pounds, while they're 150, you can't call them fat. You know what I mean? But after they lose it, you can roast them like, yo, you used to eat everything moving. But now I feel that we can make light of it because it's over and you look beautiful.
So really, you wanted to roast me the whole time I showed up with all the hormonal cystic acne on my face?
No,
you wanted to be like,
I didn't want
wow.
to roast you. I noticed it, but I didn't want to roast you.
But you said back then that I can't even tell. David would look at me like this, like, I can't even tell.
And guess what? I could tell. But that's my friend. So I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
All right, number eight. Number eight.
I think I got number 8.
No, I got number 8.
No,
You just did the last
number
one.
7.
You did number 6
You
and
combined,
7.
You
did
turned
number
my
6 and 7.
I had a 3-part 6.
It's now me, and I literally edited this one. Number 8.
Okay, let's do it.
When you make $1 million, you get the wrong attention. You get the wrong attention. So you will start to attract people who just want to be around you because you're successful. I cannot tell you how many people have completely ignored me in certain rooms until maybe David says, no, she's being modest. This is who this is. And now they want to know me. Now they want my Instagram. Now they want to connect with me. Now they want to collab. Now they want me in their community. It happens all the time. When people think that you're degular, and I'm using that just, when they think that you're a non-7-figure earner or maybe even a non-high 6-figure earner, it's like you don't add any value to them. But the moment they realize that you've made 7 figures, it's like, oh, let's invite her to have a seat at our table. Let's invite him into our community. Let's do these things. And so then you have to ask yourself, am I making genuine connections with people? Like, your discernment has to be so intact that it's like, are these relationships because of who I am, or are these relationships because you actually like the core of who I am? There is a strong difference. And don't get it wrong. Building a certain level of success will open doors for you. That's why we work this hard, right? We'll open doors. We're building success, Dave and I, so we can open doors for our kids. Like, it's going to open doors. But when it's transactional, you need to be aware of that. The problem comes in where you believe that it's actually a sincere relationship and didn't realize it was a transactional one. And now you've gotten the wrong attention because you're there for the wrong reason. That's on the business side. But even also on a personal life side, in the dating world, when you choose to marry, now you have to question everybody's motive because you're getting this attention. You're getting attention from people who wouldn't have paid you attention in the first place. Men deal with this all the time. Suddenly you got your money right and you become top tier. You become high value, right? All these things. Also, wrong attention. Some things that I've had to deal with. You're out and about and you just want to live your life and do all the things that you normally do. Like, I grew up in certain areas that I want to just be able to go back to all the time. And it's like, you might not want that attention. You know what I mean? You're out and about, you're at the gym, you're at the grocery store, and you're getting attention from people who don't always have the right intentions, the best intentions. We've seen it on the internet. You've seen our circle of friends who have gotten certain levels of attention and they think it's love. And then 2 days later, somebody's trying to shoot their house apart, right? To rob them and break into their homes. You got to be very, very careful in understanding that you're going to attract an insane amount of attention, but it usually and always isn't the right attention. And now I fully understand the celebrities who just want to stay at home. If they're not working, they want to be home. And I've seen people attack them and say, oh, she's not relatable, Beyonce. Oh, she's not relatable. She doesn't come out. She doesn't post all of this stuff. Well, she's probably already gone through her wave of understanding good attention from the wrong attention. And now she just wants to protect any bit of peace and privacy that she has because she knows that people are only valuing the superstar her. But if there were no superstar, would you still be down with me?
100%. That was 8?
That was 8.
And that kind of goes into my number 9, which is extreme levels of anxiety. And that you touched on some of it. The anxiety of now you're a target. I never once, when I was working at the Cheesecake Factory, for some reason, I wasn't anxious about someone wanting to rob me. I didn't have to look at my back like I don't got nothing. I got this 1996 Toyota Corolla who going to take this? Who's going to look at me and say they want what I have? Or the anxiety of losing it all. You're really excited on your way up there, but when you get it, now the anxiety sets in of, can I keep it? And if you have a down month, anxiety sets in heavy because you're like, oh my gosh, people are looking at me at this successful person, but I'm starting to lose it. What if I lose it all? What's going to happen? Bro, I remember I was a kid. What was the kid's name from Different Strokes?
Arnold? No, that is Arnold.
His name though.
Emmanuel
Lewis. Emmanuel Lewis. So I remember watching a news report of this kid who is now a security guard. And I said, wow, that must be the worst feeling in the world. I would rather never become a star than to become a star and lose it. Because now people are like, yo, what happened? Man, you fell off. The anxiety of like keeping that up. You get a big role in a movie and now you're like the world's biggest thing, and now you can't find another role and people are still looking at you like there's an incredible amount of anxiety that comes along with making $1 million or becoming super successful, or the anxiety of being an imposter, knowing you can't do it again.
Yeah. Ooh. Yes.
In your mind. I built it once, it's not working, but can I do it again? Or I'm just holding on because I got lucky. I'm just holding on as long as possible. There's extreme anxiety that comes with accomplishing something. So I'm just telling y'all to be careful.
Gary Coleman or Emmanuel Lewis? Who were you talking about?
Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman. Okay. Thank you guys for that correction. Is this 10?
This is 10. Close this out strong, Donni.
Number 10. I had a number 10, and I think I want to do a different number 10. Number 10 reason why you should not make $1 million is that your mistakes will cost you what they don't cost the average person.
Inflated mistakes.
Inflated mistakes. Your mistakes will cost you what they don't cost an average income earner, right? You cannot afford to curse people out anymore. You can't be somewhere and have an emotional moment and you're going off without risking someone recording you and putting you on the internet, and now suddenly you're canceled.
That's gracious.
You can't defend yourself most times. Somebody can walk up to you and slap you, edit the video to only show you hitting them back, and now you're the person in the middle of a lawsuit. Celebrities are being sued for defending themselves all the time. Somebody come up and push you and you slap them, and now you're in the middle of a civil suit. Bro. Your mistakes are going to cost you. Where we used to be able to use funny words that meant something, and now we can never say certain words on a podcast now because you guys will come for us and try to get us canceled. There's no such thing as a joke. Not when you're offending a group of people. There's no such thing as a joke. There are words that I can think that used to just be second nature, right? That we can no longer use anymore. Your mistakes are going to cost you big time. And here's the kicker. People are looking for you to make that mistake. She's got to fall off at some point. He's got to do something dumb at some point. They are looking for that mistake so they can exaggerate it and amplify it every single chance they get. And let me say this to you. It's not worth it to make the mistake. If you can think about it consciously, just walk away from whatever it is. If you can reframe the word and that you were going to use because it's just a joke and blah, 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 just choose another word. It's not worth it. If you can walk away from the argument, just walk away from the argument. And that's something that I struggle with to this day, right? To this day. Like my homegirl Milan had to drag me out of the mall a couple of weeks ago because I'm not too far removed, right? I'm not too far removed. And you really have to think about, like, I have a lot to lose. It's like, if you are the person with the most money, there's some attorney that can figure out how to make you pay.
100%. But I was in the gym, this is like a couple months ago. I'm in the gym with my friend, shouts out to my boy Brandon. And he's getting into it with somebody at LA Fitness about a basketball game. And I'm telling him, bruh, leave him alone. That's a young kid. You know them young kids, they don't care. They ain't got nothing to live for. It's up. He's getting into it. I'm like, Brandon, I'm leaving. Hey, listen, bruh, no, I'm not like trying to be funny, but I'm the only person that's gonna get sued here.
The only one.
If y'all get into it and another person comes at you and I somehow gotta like break it up and I gotta defend you, I get sued.
Oh, there's no, I can't touch it. I can't even touch it. So now I'm either a bad friend. My mistake is either going to cost me my friendship or it's going to cost me money. Right. I can't jump in a fight with you. I can't even pull somebody off of you because their lawyer is going to spin it and say that I attacked them and something. They're not coming after you.
Oh, bro. the richest person gets sued.
Yeah.
Every time.
The person with the most money.
Yeah, that's why, bro, I got so much anxiety going into the gym. Even like when things start getting heated, you know, like in a basketball game, things get heated. Bruh, as soon as this happened a little while ago, these two guys are getting into it. And this one kid's like, oh, word, that's what's up. This guy goes into his bag and gets a box cutter.
Yeah.
Now, one, this showed me he ain't had no hands because he's bigger than the other kid. This other kid, they're just getting into it, but this one swole dude goes to his bag and gets a box cutter. I grab my bag and I leave. Mm-hmm. I don't know neither one of them, and this don't got nothing to do with me, but I don't even want to be in the vicinity to say that David did, I made some money, y'all. I'm leaving.
I'm out of here. Because even if you are
mid-game,
in the back of the camera, this fight is happening over here, but you're showing up over here somewhere. No. Just an onlooker. It's going to be, why didn't he stop it? Why didn't he do more?
I get canceled. Oh, you want to talk about this piece and all that? Why you ain't break it up? He had a
box cutter. Are you kidding me? So George Achampong shared on his stories the other day something that has changed me, and it was just the other day, so I hadn't had an opportunity to demonstrate this change yet, but you know, like, we've been through enough personal development to know that this one is the one for you. And so when I said, like, my friend had to like drag me out of the mall the other day, I didn't mean like literal drag. There wasn't about to be a fight, but I gave somebody the energy that they were looking for, right? I'm giving you the energy that you're looking for, like, and that's my character flaw. Especially when it's like men disrespecting women and having this superiority complex, and it's like da 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 da, and that's what this security guard was doing, trying to flex his muscle, and I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna respond, right? And she's just like, no, just let it go. You got too much to lose. And I'm like, yeah, but he just can't be disrespecting us like that. Like, that's never gonna happen. George, and so you feel just a slight bit of satisfaction not allowing anybody to disrespect you, but it's only a slight bit, because by the time I got home, I'm like, man, I really wish I was the person that could walk away from feeling disrespected. I do. Like, I really wish that I didn't have to contribute to the conversation. Like, I didn't have to show you how much you're not going to disrespect me, right? Because at the end of the day, you just walk away saying stuff, you were still disrespected. George quoted a quote, one of his favorite quotes. He was saying that people are always asking him how he's able to be so even keel, like just even mood. He doesn't overreact to anything. And he said he heard a quote a long time ago that stuck with him, and this really impacted me. You're truly educated when you have the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. And that's going to stick with me. It's like, what's the saying that used to say, words don't hurt, or what comes on me rolls off of me and goes right back to you.
Break my bones,
but words will never hurt me. Like, we've been given the clues and the keys all this time. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Meaning, you put your hands on me, it's a different conversation, but your words, I have to let that flow, right? And when you are in a situation where your mistakes can cost you everything, this is, to me, myself included, I can no longer be a person where I'm responding to your words, because everybody's not going to respond back in words. And now we're in a bigger situation, and the mistake cost me whatever it cost me, whether it's not being able to sleep that night, it just cost me my own self value. Like, I'm going home and I'm like, I should have walked away from that. This man is probably miserable. He's dealing with stuff at home that I have no clue about. Just let it go, right? And maybe dealing with embarrassment. It costs you embarrassment. But if it had escalated, because the way that I responded, it could have escalated. If it had escalated and now this man put his hands on me, now I'm putting other men in the vicinity in danger to have to defend me, right? I'm putting my friend in danger for having to defend me. And at the end of the day, that security guard would still have sued me.
100%. 100%. And be on every blog talking about what happened with you. And listen, I have a friend that actually, I won't say his name, but I have a friend that this other guy saw him out and started pressing him. And this friend of mine, he's harmless. Don't nobody come at him like that. You know what I mean? But started screaming on him and all that kind of stuff. And the video shows my friend just looking at him. All right. Now, in the streets, it would look like, yo, you're being disrespected. You got to do something. But my man just took it, walked away, and went on with his day. And in the streets, that's called weakness because you let somebody up in your face yelling at you. But I look at that as strength and brilliance and wisdom. And I can control my emotions because who got time for all that?
Yeah.
I don't have time for it. You know what I mean? I have way more important things to do than this clown that is in my face doing whatever they're doing for Instagram. And he just sat there and then it was over. And I really look at that as strength. And I think we all have these areas that as we get to another level, we have to look at the responsibility that we have when it comes to success. We have a responsibility. The fact that Donni could suppress the emotions to take a minute to think for a minute. That's maturity, that's strength, that's being able to handle this millionaire, multi-millionaire stuff well. It's the responsibility that we have once we become successful. So hopefully we were able to talk some people out of becoming millionaires.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think we have to bring it back to us though. Like thinking about it, like, was it worth the pressure of these unrealistic expectations? Is it worth what the mistakes can cost you? Is making $1 million worth the work-life balance, the loss of life balance? Is it worth constantly being in pursuit? Like you go from one rat race in corporate America just to building your own rat race where you're doing the same things over and over, trying to get to the next level and the next level, right? Is it worth the wrong attention? Is it worth like thinking back now to your first $1 million, was it worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was.
I do it over and over and over and over again, demonstrated by the fact that we've done it over and over and over again. And now we want to help those of you who have not been turned off.
Yeah.
Make your first $1 million.
Yeah. And I think we're just trying to give you an opportunity to look at people only talk about the good side, right? So we just don't want you to be blindsided by what happens when you become successful. Or successful is relative, but when you make that first $1 million, I don't want you to be blindsided. Nobody ever had this conversation with me of all the negative things that are going to happen once you start to make a little bit of money and some people know who you are. Nobody told me this stuff.
Nobody told me.
But if you know it's coming, it's really, really helpful. Meaning if I'm walking down the street and someone punches me in my face, you might knock me out because I'm not expecting it. I'm like in shock. So I would fall. You catch me clean enough, I don't see it coming, unexpected. I don't care how tough you are, how strong your chin is. You get hit and you're not expecting it, it could drop you. But if you see it coming, even if the person hits you at the same velocity and the same force, but if you saw it coming, you could brace yourself and roll with it. You're like, I can manage it now. So we're just trying to make sure that when this stuff hits you, you get to go back and look at this episode and say, I remember that. I should put some money away. I know these people that are in my circle are going to at some point look at me as lunch or look at me as a meal ticket. I got to get away from them now. And if you don't get away from me, you can't be surprised because we told you.
I'm interested to know, though, who on the live you're like, I heard what you're saying. I heard there's no work-life balance, but I'm gonna still make this $1 million. Drop the comment million in the chat right now. Just drop the word million.
Come on, Donni,
in the chat right now. Drop the word million in the chat. If you know that you have some emotional control, or you're willing to learn it, and you're not gonna make mistakes that are too costly, like, because we've already given you what to look for. Drop the word million in the chat right now. I just want to see who's with us. Drop the word million in the chat. If you're like, you know what, I'm hearing you talk about it, and I heard Dave talk about going from a couple $100,000 to $4 million in the matter of months. And so now this makes it even more realistic for me. Like, wait, I really can do this in a year. And you believe that for yourself. Drop the word million in the comments right now. I want to see million in the comments. If you know that it's time, you've been working hard. Somebody commented when I said you go from one rat race to the other. Somebody commented, she said, but your rat race looks better. Well, if you believe that for yourself and you want to see, well, let me just go over there and see what that rat race looked like. Let me go over there and feel it out. Because at some point I feel like y'all falling off the wheel, right? And making things happen. Comment the word million. Comment the word million. Comment the word million. Somebody said you're going to be stressed out regardless of being broke or rich. It's more comfortable being rich. I agree. If you believe that you're stressed out now and all these things that we told you just now sound like a bunch of stress, but if we're going to be stressed either way and you're still going to make million, comment the word million in the chat right now. You had something?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, if you are ready for all of this and it didn't scare you, comment the word million. We just want to see. We want to see who we didn't scare. The people that say, yo, you right, I'm cool. This ain't for me. You were going to quit anyway. But for those that really took it and said, yo, okay, I understand it. I'm prepared for it. I'm going to embrace this punch that's going to come at some point. Your life is going to change in the next year. 2025 is your first $1 million year. 2025, somebody comment the word million if 2025 is your first $1 million year. Comment the word million. Let's go.
If you're not scared of the work that it takes, comment million. And if you are not watching this right now inside of the communities, if you're not watching this right now on live, we want to invite you to actually take that journey with us. Like, everybody has an opportunity with the right tools, the right resources, the right network, the right high income skill sets to make your first $1 million. So for you, if you're on YouTube or if you're looking at this on one of the podcast platforms, whatever that looks like, go to the website, myfirstmillionlive.com. It's first spelled out, myfirstmillionlive.com. We are literally laying out the game plan, everything that we did to hit our first 7 figures. And believe it or not, we've been able to work with so many people at this point that have gone on to make their own 7 figures, that this is not just a framework that we personally use, but it's a framework that we've duplicated to other people. And I've got clients who are making 7 and 8 figures doing things that I don't even do in my business. We came up and I'm like, you try that first. Let me see what you got going on. And it's working, right? So we can teach you from both personal experience, but we can also teach you from the observation of things that have happened successfully with our clients and students that we've worked with. Go to myfirstmillionlive.com. If you commented million in our live chat right now, you're going to get the link straight to your DMs. Like, we've already sent you the DM and it's right there waiting for you. Tickets start at just $100.
Let's go. December 13th.
Yep.
And you get to celebrate Donni and I's birthday together. And we are going to party, man. December 13th in Atlanta, live. We want to see you. If you've been watching this podcast, you've been growing with us for years, and you've really, really grown as an entrepreneur, your mindset, things of that nature, I want to see you in person, man. You've been lusting after Donni for the last 3 years.
Okay, all right. All right. Cut the crap.
What?
If you want to make $1 million, if you've been lusting after my coaching, that's it right there. If you've been lusting after my coaching, not after me, even though, my skin done cleared up now. I'm even more top tier now. I'm just playing. I'm joking, y'all. But what we're not joking about is working with those of you who want to make $1 million in 2025. Dave said, when we put this event together, he's like, Donni, I think that we can help at least 25 people. We can work with at least 25 people and help them make their first $1 million in 2025. And then I'm like, well, why can't we do 50? If we can do 25, we can do 50. we can probably help at least 100 people.
At least.
And even it's the goal. It's the fact that we want to. It's the fact that we are qualified to, because we've done it now over and over and over again, more than 3 times in a row. So now we are fit to teach you. Yeah. And I want them to pay attention to the fact that we weren't teaching people how to be millionaires before we hit 7 figures ourselves.
That's a fact.
And that wasn't the goal. Even though when I was making 6 figures, I was still making 6 figures. I had clients that were also making 6 figures that made 7 figures before me. Mm-hmm. That wasn't the goal, though. I didn't know that was going to happen. Mm. I had clients who came to me for a certain need. We worked on their business, and by happenstance and strategy, they made 7 figures. But that didn't become my goal. Like, I can help you make 7 figures until I did it first. Yeah. And
that's what we're teaching. December 13th in Atlanta. Get your tickets. This is going to be a day to remember. Listen, this isn't a whole lot of hype and motivation. We are giving you a strategy to follow for 2025. So we're ready, Donni. Go and close this out, man. Listen, this was a good episode.
And I don't think it needs anything else. MyFirstMillionLive.com. This is an in-person event. This is all day long. We didn't want to do a multiple day event because it's already around the holiday time. We want you to be able to get in, get all the information you need, and get out. MyFirstMillionLive.com in Atlanta, Georgia, December 13th. If you want, there's a ticket option for you to also come on Thursday evening to our birthday party. We want to celebrate with you and put you in the room with some of our friends to give you a head start on that networking and the success that you can get as a result. So we out of here. Bye.
Peace. You just watched this whole episode. If you like this episode, watch this one right here. Click right here. You're going to like this one if you like the one you just watched. Check it out.